one's religion. You just endorse your own, and you want your freedom to practice your own religion. Steal from other people and damage their property, it's your life, and you should, it's your responsibility. So all of a sudden, if you understand this brings people of all walks of life together, because they will use their liberty in a different way, and it shouldn't be offensive. You say, well, you're tolerating too much. Well, toleration doesn't mean endorsement. What you're endorsing, and what you really want, is the principle of liberty. And this is what creates prosperity and creative activity, and it allows us as a society to be nonviolent. This endorses the nonviolent approach. If you apply that domestically, just think of what it's like if you apply it internationally. Occasionally we've been having a debate here and there. And there was one night that I brought up the subject of the Golden Rule. And but you know, the Golden Rule is endorsed by all the major religions. It's not an outrageous religious statement. It's just a good common sense that all religions endorse. That you treat other people the way you would like to be treated. So my suggestion in the debate was, what would it be like if we treated other nations exactly the way we would like to be treated? We own the world, that the world is ours, and now we have 900 bases. We have, 130 countries that were involved, and we think we'd own the Persian Gulf. But what if other nations thought they owned the Gulf of Mexico? You know, I think there would be a little bit of objection. But you know, this whole idea, this idea that we are an exceptional nation. People use this in a perverse manner. Yes, we're an exceptional nation. This thought has been around a long time, even back to Woodrow Wilson and others. We are such an exceptional nation. We do such wonderful things, and we understand democracy. So we're going to invade countries, use force, use guns, occupy their country, and force them to have elections. And then when they have elections, then they elect the people we didn't want, so we ignore their elections. We end up with more enemies than we need. We just don't need more enemies, more killing, more Americans dying, more people from around the world dying, drones now bombing all those states and bomb any spot in the world. And what's going on now? Now they're talking about having thousands of 30,000 drones patrolling our skies in the United States. They would like to control the internet, but fortunately the people heard about that and they're ready very careful because already they've set the standards that the military now is a law enforcement agency for domestic law, that the military now, with the canceladas, topic comitatus, that the military can arrest any American citizen if they become a suspect. They don't get charged, they're not offered an attorney, they can be put in secret prison and considered and kept indefinitely. That is not part of American tradition. That has to be because we have been careless in the way we've gone to war. Up until World War II, we declared war. And some of them should have been declared, but at least we declared them. And we fought them, and we won them, and we came home. But lately, that hasn't been the case. Since World War II, we have declared one war, and the wars are just continuous. They've been very bad these last 10 years. The World War II, fighting both the Japanese and the Germans, was less than 4 years, and there was a victory declared. But today, we've been in Afghanistan for 12 years, and now the reports are coming out. Some of the military people are speaking out, and they're saying, it's all a fake and a fraud. There's been no progress in this.
Bring them home! 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 Bring them home!
Now, the troops absolutely should come home. Somebody asked me once, when should you bring them home? I said, as soon as we get the ships over there.
Yeah!
Ourselves around the world. We should be offering what the founders told us to offer and what's available in the Constitution: friendship and peace.
Yep.
Friendship and peace. I think one of the most impressive things that impressed on my mind during the 1960s was that I was drafted during the Cuban crisis. I was in the Air Force for 5 years, but I did not have to go to Vietnam, but obviously that was a big event in the 1960s, and we were there to stop the domino effect of communism. Of course, we lost that war. We lost 60,000 men and women that lost their lives, and all the wounded and the tragedies, and the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Vietnamese that died with the 20 years of war by the French in America. All that to impose our will on a country that has a civil war going on. Yeah. And what happened when we lost and left? All of a sudden, there was no domino effect. The domino effect was capitalism that we were giving up on and they were picking up on. China ends up being our banker now, and we're trading partners with the Vietnamese. We go back and forth and trade and invest, and we're not killing each other. So just think how much can be achieved in peace that is never achieved in war. War is a negative. It's always a negative. About the foreign policy of non-intervention, and they're confused. Why is it that they will ask me, they say, Ron, you're doing pretty well in the campaign, but you could do so much better if you would just change your foreign policy. I said, if you understood what was going on, if you would come out to an event like this, that's why the people like this. Where does the money go from the military? It goes to our campaign. We get credit and all the rest goes to them. So the evidence is very strong that the American people are getting tired of the war. I think this is part of what's happened in the last 4 or 5 years. The freedom movement has been creeping along, but there's been an explosion of interest in the defense of individual liberty. But what happened 4 or 5 years ago in 07, 08 was the collapse of the economy, and people know how serious it is, and that we're not out of the doldrums yet. And they know also that the people who are benefiting in the financial bubble now are getting, they're the ones who got the bailout. And guess what? The middle class got stuck with the bill.
Yep.
The middle class got stuck with the bill. They lost their jobs and they lost their houses. Now, I saw a statistic today with a poll by one of the major networks. I haven't studied it, but there was one part of it that I sort of liked. And they were gauging all the candidates in their acceptance by the middle class. And our campaign won the acceptance by the middle class, won above all the rest of the middle class.